Song of Pueblo premiered in 2008. It incorporated a chorus of community residents, including school children, in a production under the direction of noted actor and composer Daniel Valdez. Song of Pueblo is the second of three oratorios by Valdez. After the first shows, a small ensemble was formed. Song of Pueblo is a musical interpretation of Pueblo's and Colorado's southeastern history. It captures eras of human drama through Valdez's original compositions and narration that beautifully weaves together eras of history. Performed masterfully, the songs tell authentic stories as historical images appear on a large screen to illustrate the tumultuous changes that occurred over centuries throughout a vast territory termed the Borderlands. The Borderlands refer to the vast territory inhabited by several indigenous tribes and the descendants of Spanish colonials who founded Taos and Santa Fe in the 1500s. Border in Borderlands is in reference to a river that separated New Spain and French territory and later Mexico and the United States. The river was called Apishipa by indigenous peoples, but later named the Arkansas River by American explorers. It runs through southern Colorado and right through the center of Pueblo. The music and stories pivot primarily on Pueblo that began as a frontier trading post until 1854. After which the gold rush drew fortune seekers, miners, industrialists, and developers who bring a new society to the original people of the borderland. The song, Death at Sand Creek, strongly illustrates the cultural shift and violence that took place as the lifeways of indigenous people were coming to an end. The song concludes the frontier era. Sorrowful, yet powerful drumming and an Indian flute introduces the tragedy of an Arapaho village asleep under a white flag of surrender when they are attacked by soldiers. The stage fades to black and the audience is silent. Suddenly, a new period of time is introduced with an upbeat public domain medley. The music moves the audience through the gold rush, Pueblo's significant cattle drive history, to Pueblo's historic industrial era, through the artwork by Russian Artzybashev. The artist was commissioned by the Colorado Fuel and Iron Company, or CF&I Steel Mill, that made Pueblo the largest industrial complex in the West. Immigrants made their way by the tens of thousands to work in the mill, smelters, and coal mines that supported steelmaking. Pueblo became a microcosm of the larger cities in the East where the Industrial Revolution created exploitation, child labor, and violent strikes, which also played out on the plains and the coal fields of southeastern Colorado. After the Ludlow strike, better known as the Ludlow Massacre, there was such a national outcry that working conditions began to improve across the country. Finally, a strong middle class emerged, and families and businesses thrived until one summer evening in June 1921. After 3 days of rain, a levee broke. Telephone operators trapped on an upper floor continued through the night to warn people downstream. But for many who died, the wall of water came too quickly. So powerful was the current, train cars were moved off the tracks. Residents rallied, and Pueblo persevered through the Dust Bowl and Depression. Immigrant families continued to enjoy their culture and traditions, and ethnic enclaves became established neighborhoods. Day and night shifts of 8,000 workers created a rhythm and a working class culture. Numerous taverns welcomed the steel workers day and night. Mom and pop restaurants flourished, as did churches that served specific ethnic groups: Greek, Croatian, Italian, Irish, Mexican, and Jewish. Houses had attached bodegas that sold cold cuts, cheeses, homemade bread, and pies. Before the turn of the century, Rumors spoke of change coming. It came, sure enough, when the steel mill downsized, areas emptied. Decades passed before a new vision emerged in the 1990s. Now, the river again draws people to its banks. A river walk now designates the former border, and the borderland flags fly over the water. As I wrote in the final narration, it is the past that will sustain us. We will be wise to preserve our buildings, our diversity, the wind, sun, and water. We are the people of the mountains and plains. The wind will remember us. The sun will watch us build our dreams, and the river will sing our song, the song of Pueblo. We've assembled a few sound bites of the lyrics and music to give you a taste of the oratorio.
We sing, tonight we bring the song of Pueblo, the people's town.
This is the story of vengeance and glory, and two men who were destined to meet. One Spanish general, the Hunza by name, the other a Comanche chief.
If you're looking for trade, there's no place no better made than El Pueblo, the old trading post. You can barter rums and pelts, trade for staples off the shelf. There's no better place to get the things you want. El Pueblo was founded by many, depending on whom you should ask. There's Fisher and Simpson, Beckworth, Kincaid, Barkley and Connon and Moms. They all claim to be founding fathers. This may or may not be true, for there's always someone who will argue there must have been a woman or two. I only knew her name was Teresita. I didn't know she belonged to someone else. Y cuando no dieron permiso a la entrada, comenzaron al pueblo a atacar. I awoke to a sound I will never, never forget. First the earth shook with sounds of thunder. Then I heard my mother's cry. Run, my child, run away, don't wonder. Don't look back, don't you stop. In the creek you must hide till I'm by your side. the people cried and prayed as houses swept away. It had only just begun. Then the rain became the storm, the flood of 21, taking lives and leaving voices hushed, forever gone.
So come on down to Port John Town. We can meet at Isla's place. Come on down to Port John Town, where we can meet face to face. The song of when